So, welcome to the overnight. It's been a while since I've done one of these things. I'm doing this from my work van tonight, so I apologize for all the radio squelching and shit like that. But so I'm gonna start with the Giants, where Giants football's back, and I don't put much stock in the fucking training camp. As long as those guys are healthy. I heard that Scatterbo went down with a hamstring, I think. But these training camp injuries are going to pop up and shit like that. And who looks good and who doesn't look good and who's going to, and our third pick is looking awfully good. I mean, he literally fucking embarrassed the fucking offensive line on one-on-one drills. I mean, there's no reason why he shouldn't get Defensive Rookie of the Year. Easily. If he's going to continue, I mean, that first step is just bonkers and shit like that. But, I'll talk more about the Giants later on. But I'm going to talk about the fucking Yankees. I'm just going to say this right now. And people are going to fucking disagree with me with this. But, everyone's grading that the Yankees were the winners, or one of the winners, of the trade deadline. No, they fucking weren't. They fucking weren't. There's no reason why we needed fucking two more fucking closers. I understand that if we needed one. It was insurance that just in case Devin Williams walked after this year. Because this is the final year of his deal and the Yankees weren't bringing him back. So, getting Bednar, okay, I get that. And Bednar's under team control. But you didn't need fucking Doval. You didn't. And you didn't need Caballero. Because Caballero's just going to be a fucking bench player or a pinch fucking runner. And it was proven tonight. And tonight's loss was one of the worst losses in the last, 5 years. You had a 6-0 lead. You had a 9-4 lead. And pitching from the fourth inning on was fucking atrocious. I don't understand. Dude, these scouts do their fucking homework? Do they look at the fucking numbers? Jake Bird, in the month of July, had a 20 ERA. Since June 10th or something like that, he has near 14 ERA. And Brian Cashman inexplicably fucking trades for him. He has he almost has an 8 ERA on the fucking road. And what happens? He gives up the grand slam. And they go to Bednar. Closers want the ball in the ninth. It's almost like when they pitch in the 7th inning or something like that, it's like a fish out of water. And Bednar gives up the game-tying home run. And then Miami took the lead. And then in the bottom of the top next inning, Volpe ties it. And Volpe just gets pissed off because every time he makes a miscue on the fucking field, and all of a sudden he turns into fucking Barry Bonds. With these fucking home runs and shit like that. He had a 4-hit game. The Martian had a 3-hit game. And whatnot. And we took the lead in the ninth and whatnot. And after all these trades, Devin Williams was going to be your closer. And who Boone trots out? Doval. Which I understand. Because Devin Williams lately has struggled. And he has. And then everyone is saying that, with the defensive metrics that Caballero was fine was fine in right field. He has 25 games in his career in right field. Why couldn't you put Austin Slater? Which I feel, and I'm going to talk about these trades. And then you lose on a hit that doesn't even fucking go to the grass. That went 6 fucking feet. So this was this is a loss that just it wasn't the offense's fault. It just wasn't. Your offense scored 12 fucking runs. You should win. I mean, at least you're not the fucking Pirates, who put up 9 in the first, and they lost 17-16, the Colorado of all teams. But, these trades, the Ryan McMahon trade has worked out so far, for the most part. And Austin Slater, I don't understand that. Amar Rosario, don't understand that one. And, the trades for Bednar and Doval and Jake Bird and shit like that. And it's just fucking, I just didn't, I understand you needed bullpen arms. I just think that Brian Cashman had seen, the Mets have 2 lockdown closers in Diaz and Housley. The Padres have 2 lockdown closers in Suarez and Mason Miller. You know what? I'm going to fucking one-up them by having 4 closers. And then when he made these trades, nobody's fucking realizing this. This team lacks a right-handed hitting catcher. The Yankees in a 10-month span, have gotten rid of 5 of them. Including 2 in 1 deal. And after the first deal, for Bednar, I'm looking at what catching do we have now? And we had Jesus Rodriguez, who's batting 300 in AAA, and he's projected for next year. I'm like, yeah, that's your fucking right-handed bat right there for next year. And what does Brian Cashman do? He puts him in the deal for Doval. And just and now we're stuck with Austin Wells and JC Escara. They can't fucking hit. They cannot fucking hit. And all I want to hear is, they're good fucking framers and defense. Austin Wells dropped a fucking pop foul that should have been Ryan McMahon's. I'm just fucking sick and tired. I mean, Austin Wells has regressed offensively. I don't care about the home runs. You're batting fucking 210. Aaron, if it wasn't for, we had Cody Bellinger and shit like, and Stanton, I just think that because Wells can't back clean up because he batted really well clean up last year, but he won't get that chance. So now after all these trades, we have no long man, pretty much. So, and Cashman is pretty much going with a rotation of Max Fried, who's got I still think he's still dealing with a blister issue. You got Carlos Rodon. Then you got Luis Gil, who's coming back on Sunday, who hasn't pitched all year. And you got Will Warren and Cam Schlittler, 2 rookies. So Brian Cashman is fucking rolling the dice, thinking that they're going to go deep into October with that rotation. That is not fucking happening. Unless the offense does what it does today in the playoffs. I don't see that fucking shit happening. Maybe for a game or 2, but if you're gonna do that for fucking for a series, I don't see it. I don't see it. And the Yankees didn't, the Yankees could have tried harder for Alcantara. And if they would have landed Alcantara, because Miami wanted either Lombard or Spencer Jones. I just think that, yes, I understand that because, Spencer Jones is fucking be ready for next year. And Lombard will be ready by, I don't know, 27 or something like that. But imagine you had the Yankees acquired Alcantara. The rotation for next year, when Cole comes back, and you have Farid and Rodon and Alcantara, and then your fifth starter could be Heel or Warren, Clark Schmidt when he comes back in mid-season. So to me, that's a World Series contending rotation. If they're all on all cylinders. But and it to me right now, it doesn't fucking matter. You made all these fucking trades, and it's the fucking aura of Aaron Boone. The aura. It doesn't matter who is on this team. From year to year to year, the same shit pops up. Defense, defense, defense. And defense fucking destroyed them today. That Caballero error, which I just felt, I didn't think he would, being in right field. Caballero could have played first. Or you could have had Slater play right field. But when you took Bellinger out, who was a good right fielder, well, good outfielder to begin with, and we can't sleep on Miami because Miami's been really good lately. But tonight's loss was fucking, was disturbing. And it was the worst loss I've seen in 5 years. How you can score 12 runs and not win. And have a 6-0 lead and a 9-4 lead. And you fucking promptly give it away. So, the way this roster is constructed, they're not a World Series contending team. I can see Seattle being a World Series contending team because of what they got the pitching, they got Suarez, but the Yankees are not going. They're just they'll make the playoffs. They'll be a wild card team unless Toronto falls off the map. But I don't see the Yankees going far in the playoffs. Just don't. Not with that starting rotation after Rodon. I just don't see it. I just don't fucking see it. Because if you have to go into meaningful games with fucking 2 rookies, and especially with one rookie that's shaky after the first inning, and yes, he's been kind of solid this year when he doesn't have a bad inning. That's just a recipe for disaster. And you have to rely on your offense to fucking mash. And hopefully your bullpen doesn't fucking give it away. I mean, yeah, we have Mark Leiter coming back. No, just keep him away. I mean, you need a long man, and you need Yarborough. If Yarborough comes back, there's your long man right there. And you keep him on. You keep him in that role. But and Fernando Cruz isn't going to be back until like September. So that's almost like a September call-up when they expand the rosters. So, like I said, I grade this fucking trade deadline a fucking D, and everyone's like, you're just fucking crazy. Then explain tonight. I wasn't wrong. I wasn't fucking wrong. And if the Yankees think that the Jake Bird issues on the road are correctable, think again. When you have a near 8 ERA on the road, but you're good at Coors. Matt Blake, maybe we'll fix him, but tonight, I'm sorry. I just think that was a trade that should have never been made. I'd rather have stuck with fucking Hamilton. At least Hamilton doesn't have a near 20 ERA in the month of July. So that was a mistake. But we'll see. And the only, like I said, the only trade that's panned out so far is McMahon. And McMahon has done more in 7 games than Oswald Peraza has done in 2 months. That's the one. Yes, we needed a third baseman. And yes, I didn't but we'll see how this goes in the last 2 months of the season. I just not optimistic right now. Yet, like I said, yes, they'll make the playoffs. No, they're not going far in the playoffs. Not with, if they don't fix their fucking defense, they're not. It's just not. You don't lose. In your last 14 games that your team has committed error, you're fucking 2-12. That's, Aaron Boone needs to fucking put his foot down and start fucking making this team work on their defense. And especially when it comes to the postseason. Because if you start making errors in the postseason, and we all seen it in the World Series, how can it all fucking unravel? So, like I said, that's about it for tonight. I just want to talk about the trade deadline. I haven't been out here for a while. And whatnot. And I'll talk more about the Giants and how they're doing, after maybe the second preseason game. And maybe we'll get a clear gauge on how this team's going to... I still say, with the schedule, I just think the defense will be on the field too long. But we'll see. And have a good night, everybody.